Listen carefully. Stop for a moment. Before you decide anything, watch this. This story didn't start today. Something here doesn't add up. Jungkook is the most successful BTS member. That is no longer a debate. Charts, streams, sales, global reach. In any other fandom, this would be the point where jealousy explodes, where support quietly turns into resentment. But that never happened. And that's where this story begins. Eyes audience retention, 20-60 seconds. Pay attention to what happened next. This part matters. Don't miss this detail. What you're about to hear changes everything. Because Jungkook didn't just win. He broke the unspoken rule of fame. The rule that says, when one rises too high, the rest turn against him. Yet armies didn't turn. They stayed. And the reason why is deeper than numbers. Direct hit focus and story direction, minute 1-4. Focus on this part. Look at this closely. Here, what most people overlooked. This wasn't a coincidence. Jungkook didn't become the most successful member overnight. Armies watched him grow from a teenager into someone who carried the pressure of an entire generation. He trained longer. He was judged harder. He blamed himself more. Every mistake was magnified. Every silence was questioned. And through all of it, he never once positioned himself above BTS. When his solo work exploded globally, he didn't rewrite the narrative. He didn't say, I did this. He said, we did this. Over and over again. That choice shaped everything. Jungkook never separated his identity from BTS. Even when the world tried to do it for him. Media headlines framed him as the breakout star. Brands chased him as an individual icon. But he refused to play the role they wanted. Instead of distancing himself, he pulled the group closer. That single decision dismantled jealousy before it could form. Direct hit the success paradox, minute 4-6. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Success alone doesn't create hate. Distance does. Fans turn when an idol begins to feel unreachable. When success creates a wall instead of a bridge. Jungkook did the opposite. He stayed awkward. He stayed soft-spoken. He stayed emotionally transparent. He cried openly. He doubted himself publicly. He admitted fear when the world expected confidence. That vulnerability made envy impossible. You don't resent someone who still feels like your own. Armies didn't see Jungkook as the one who left them behind. They saw him as the one we protected while he grew. That emotional bond is unbreakable. Pause, emotional pause, after heavy facts. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. Sit with that for a second. Think about this carefully. In an industry built on comparison, Jungkook removed the comparison entirely. Not by lowering his success, but by lowering his ego. Direct hit why envy never turned into hate, minute 6-9. There's another layer most people miss. Jungkook never weaponized his fans. He never encouraged solo superiority. He never fed rivalry narratives. He never allowed his success to become a dividing line. Silence can be powerful, but restraint is even stronger. By refusing to speak over BTS, he let the group's legacy speak for him. Armies didn't feel replaced. They felt respected. And respect neutralizes resentment. Compare that to other fandom implosions. When solo success becomes separation. When identity becomes hierarchy. That never happened here. Because Jungkook didn't let it. Direct hit the BTS effect, minute 9-11. BTS didn't just build a group. They built a culture. A culture where success is shared. Where individual growth feeds collective pride. Armies were conditioned not to choose sides, but to protect the whole. Hating Jungkook would mean betraying BTS itself. And most fans won't cross that emotional boundary. Not after everything, they survived together. Pause, second emotional pause. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. Sit with that for a second. Think about this carefully. Jungkook didn't escape jealousy. He dissolved it. Direct hit, the real reason. Minute 11:13. Here's the real answer. ARMYs don't hate Jungkook because he never made them feel small. His success didn't erase others. It amplified the story of BTS. And that's why his rise felt deserved, not threatening. In the end, people don't hate success. They hate abandonment. And Jungkook never abandoned anyone. Clapperboard closing, minute 13:15. This isn't just about charts, or fame, or numbers. It's about character. Jungkook proved something rare. That you can reach the top without stepping on the people who lifted you. And that's why, even as the most successful BTS member, ARMYs didn't turn away. They stayed. Because he stayed first. But there's one more layer people rarely talk about. Something quieter. Something more uncomfortable. Jungkook became successful without ever asking to be chosen. He didn't campaign for attention. He didn't chase validation. He didn't reshape himself to be more marketable. The world chose him anyway. And that matters. Because forced success creates resistance. Organic success creates acceptance. ARMYs didn't feel like Jungkook was pushed above the group. They felt like he was pulled there by the audience. Fame usually changes how an idol looks at fans. But with Jungkook, the direction never flipped. He still speaks like someone grateful, not entitled. He still reacts like someone surprised, not expecting applause. That emotional posture keeps him relatable. And relatability is the enemy of hatred. Direct hit, the burden he never complained about, minute 16:18. Another truth. Jungkook carried a weight he never asked for. Being the youngest. Being the center. Being the one everyone projected onto. He absorbed pressure silently. When criticism came, he internalized it. When praise came, he redirected it. He didn't defend himself loudly. He didn't attack back. That restraint earned trust. ARMYs didn't feel manipulated. They felt respected. Pause, emotional pause. Pause for a moment. Let that sink in. Sit with that for a second. Think about this carefully. Not reacting can be a form of strength. Direct hit, why he never triggered the solo curse. Minute 18:19. Most idols face the same trap. The moment solo success peaks, fans begin to question loyalty. Is he still one of us? Or is he moving on? Jungkook answered without speaking. By showing up. By rejoining the group without hesitation. By never treating BTS as a backup plan. That consistency killed the solo curse before it started. Clapperboard final emotional close, minute 19:20. So when people ask, why don't ARMYs hate Jungkook? The answer isn't mystery. It's memory. They remember who he was before the fame. They recognize who he stayed after it. In a world obsessed with winning, Jungkook chose belonging.